Good afternoon, everyone. We're so excited to welcome you to Leadership Lunch on Zoom today. Unfortunately, our conference minister will not be joining us. She is still out of the office celebrating the wedding of her youngest child this past weekend. So Lisa, some members of our planning team, and myself, I'm Jen Ringgold. I am the Program Associate for Youth Ministries. I help with Leadership Lunch, Zoom and tech support, and also the Program Director for the Michigan Mitten Project. I get to be on the annual meeting planning team, and I'm so excited to share the details of that meeting, which is coming up really quickly with all of you. Before we begin, I have a prayer for leaders to share with all of you. This comes from To Bless the Space Between Us from John O'Donohue. If you'll join me in a spirit of prayer. For leaders, may you have, or may we have the grace and wisdom to act kindly, learning to distinguish between what is personal and what is not. May we be hospitable to criticism. May we never put ourselves at the center of things. May we act not from arrogance, but out of service. May we work on ourselves, building up and refining the ways of our minds. May those who work for us know that we see and respect them. May we learn to cultivate the art of presence in order to engage with those who meet us. When someone fails or disappoints us, may the graciousness with which we engage be their stairway to renewal and refinement. May we treasure the gifts of the mind through reading and creative thinking so that we continue as servants of the frontier, where the new will draw its enrichment from the old. May we never become functionary. May we know the wisdom of deep listening, the healing of wholesome words, the encouragement of the appreciative gaze, the decorum of held dignity, the springtime edge of the bleak question. May we have a mind that loves frontiers so that we can evoke the bright fields that lie beyond the view of the regular eye. May we have good friends to mirror our blind spots. And may leadership and this leadership lunch for us be a true adventure of growth. Amen. So I'm going to really quickly change my view here so that I can see all my friends. I have some staff members here and members of the planning team. If you are on the planning team, would you please take a moment to unmute and introduce yourself?
So you should be calling on us to do this because we'll never just step up. I'm Sue Greenwood. I'm on the planning committee by virtue of chairing the resolutions committee.
I'm Patty Higgins. I'm on the planning committee because last year it was held up here in the Great Northern area and I helped find the daycare. So I just ended up staying on the planning team. So here I am.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Patty. I'm looking at my list. I know we have a couple other people who are on, but driving. Is there anybody else? I know for sure there's a staff and team member who hasn't introduced themselves.
Ralph.
He might be driving. I'm Lisa Soulier, part of the Michigan Conference staff as conference administrator, and I'm also on the planning team for annual meeting.
Excellent. Thank you so much, friends who are on the planning team. I am going to make sure that I call on you so that people don't have to listen to my voice the whole entire time that we're on Zoom today. We do have a lot of information to share with you about annual meeting. The first thing is the dates and where it is. So in preparation for annual meeting, it is being held October 3rd and 4th in Detroit, in the Detroit Metropolitan Association. The event will be taking place at the Westin, which is a hotel and conference center, the Westin Southfield, Detroit, Michigan. So that is the dates and the location. You can also see here in this graphic our esteemed keynote speaker, Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony, who is the senior pastor at Fellowship Chapel, United Church of Christ, and our Church Vitality guest speaker, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Richardson as well. If you have, oh, I love the comments. Bill's already registered. If you have not already registered, this part of the Zoom is for you. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what the registration site looks like. Lawrence, would you be willing to put the registration site in the chat for people real quickly? You're pretty good at finding those links really fast. So this is what the registration site looks like. There's a ton of information here. It serves ultimately as its own website as well as the registration site. So it gives you all the details about dates. It has a link to the schedule for the entire 3 days. It has the link to where to go to make your hotel reservations, because that is a separate site, which we'll show you in just a second. There's an option to register for Friday only or Saturday only, or the 2 days of Friday and Saturday. Online registration does close after September 15th. That is the date with which we have to have our final numbers for meal counts to the Westin. After September 15th, the price goes up quite a substantial amount from the regular registration rate of $175 to $250 per person. So if you're planning to come register before the 15th, that information is all here in all these details on the site. It includes a spot for your name, email, your home address, phone number, the full name of your local church. This is really important for us, especially if you're a delegate, so we know what church it is that you are attending from. Including the address of that local church. There's an option with a drop-down menu to choose your association. You will notice that there is an other on there. We do have visitors coming from other denominations, ecumenical guests, and out-of-state visitors. So that is that's why you see that on there. This drop-down menu for where what your status is at annual meeting. Every church gets 2 lay delegates and up to a 3rd delegate if that person is a youth or young adult not older than 22. You can register as active clergy, retired clergy, a member of the board of directors, an association officer, conference staff, member in discernment, a visitor, youth visitor, or then we also have people who are exhibiting in the exhibitor space as vendors. So those are all the different ways that you can register for status at annual meeting. And then choosing Friday only, Saturday only, or Friday and Saturday. We, of course, are asking for your dietary needs so that we can help accommodate those and any other access needs. That is a required form. If you don't have any, you just put none on the form there. There is an optional Thursday evening event, which we'll talk about later, but there's a spot for you to say whether or not you'd like to participate in that event for our number count. We're offering some optional activities on Friday morning in the Detroit area. And workshops on Friday as well. There are 6 different choices for workshops. We will let you know as we get closer to the actual event what times each of those workshops will be offered during the workshop spaces. And then if you need childcare, childcare will be provided on Friday and Saturday. We just need the information of those children right here on the registration form. There's payment options here as well for what you're going to pay, depending on what it is that you're registered for, if you have gotten a pre-approved scholarship. And then it is pay by credit card and submit and pay. Any questions about the actual registration form itself? Neat. Love it. Very clear description.
Galen.
Oh, Galen. Galen's unmuted. Okay, go ahead, Galen.
Well, just when Marguerite and I are registered, when you clicked on one thing, you would be familiar, Jen, I'm sure, since I'm sure you created this document. There was a one of the workshops that was offered had to do with LBGTQ, but when you got to the actual choices, then that wasn't there anymore. And I just wondered, what's on the form when we registered is what's actually available?
That is
Okay.
correct. There's been a couple of changes and shifts in that, and we've updated in the choices as those changes have been made throughout the course of registration. But thank you for asking. Yeah.
Yeah, and you need to have people willing to lead them, of course. Thank you. Okay.
Absolutely. My pleasure. All right. Excellent. Lisa, do you want to hop in and give a brief description of the location of the hotel? And then we'll show people how to register for that.
Sure. So the location of the hotel is located in Southfield. I think the description says Southfield / Detroit. It is easy to find. It's right off the expressway. If you're not familiar with the area, because I was not the first time I visited. But it was very easy to find. There is parking in the parking ramp. The hotel staff is awesome with helping you find your way. Actually, when Jen and I went to visit, the day that we went to visit, there were storms on our way, and it rained really hard, like to where we couldn't hardly even see. And by the time we got to Detroit and got into the Westin, found out that their power was out. But they have backup generators because we could use the elevators, and we got into our room, and I thought, gosh, I'm going to open up the curtains because it's so dark in here. I'm not going to be able to see with no lights. And I tried the light and it worked. So we're covered if it storms. But it's a very nice hotel, and there is a restaurant on site. There is a place to get Starbucks coffee and other snacks. But I can go over some of the meals that are going to be provided. As Jen mentioned, Thursday, there's the early gathering. So if you choose to come early for the Thursday gathering in the evening, we'll have some just like appetizer type items to eat. There's going to be like a buffalo chicken dip, a vegetable display, and then we'll also have a cash bar that will have different options available with some different wines or some beer. On Friday, the only meal that's offered is dinner. Friday during the day is lunch on your own. Friday dinner it offers 2 entrees. There's a mixed salad. There's a quinoa salad. There's pork loin, vegetable Napoleon, and a gluten-free dessert. There's also a cash bar Friday as well. On Saturday, we offer breakfast and lunch. Breakfast is an omelet station, as well as a yogurt station, so you can build your own yogurt parfait. And then the lunch is build your own deli. So there'll be cold cuts and different things to make, sandwiches and all the fixings to go with it, and some other side options. Of course, there'll be coffee available at all times, coffee and water. Or if you want a special coffee, you can get one from Starbucks. I think that's everything as far as the food goes. I don't know if any.
Lisa, a question was asked and I was wondering about parking. Is that included or is there an extra fee for parking?
The parking is included. We did not incur a separate fee for parking, so. And of course, all of your, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And that's true for people attending that aren't staying in the hotel.
I believe you have to park in the parking areas that are available. I think the garage parking is only for those staying overnight.
Okay. I mean, they have a range of parking options there, so it shouldn't be a big issue. So
there's 2 large parking lots on either side of the hotel itself.
the expressway that you mentioned is the Lodge Expressway, which is Route Michigan 10. It's just off, very close to 10 Mile Road, where it crosses that expressway. So yeah, it's very easy to find. There are a lot of high-rise buildings there that have sort of a goldish tint to them. So if you see that, then you know you're close.
That's good to know.
Yep,
Thank you.
I'm screen sharing this is the site for making a reservation through our discounted rate link. This link is available with the discounted rate until Friday. So just through the 5th is when the $159 per night is available. You can see, as Galen was mentioning in the photo there, the shape of the Westin itself is kind of this curved building. It's very unique. It's pretty easy to see. And again, in that picture, you can see the high rise that is on one side, and then there is another one like outside the side of the picture of the arrow. You can see here, this is a picture of the restaurant that I'm scrolling through, the parking garage. This is kind of a picture of what the rooms look like. And then there again is those 2 big high rises with the Westin in the middle. It is right off of the highway. We will send a detailed map of how to get there. You kind of have to make a right-hand turn to go left. That's the only kind of tricky piece about finding it from a driving standpoint. But that will make sure that you have a visual as well for how to get there. All right. Galen had mentioned the workshop options. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
I just wanted to know, once we register, we get an email and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to make sure I have that. And I just don't remember which email address I use because I'm transitioning. So I also want to know if the hotel provides, that same sort of thing. They probably do. So some sort of confirmation email.
I believe I got my confirmation email today.
Okay. I'll look for those because I want to make sure I can know where they're at. That's all. Thanks.
Yes, the conference registration one comes under Jen's name, Jennifer Ringgold, and the hotel one comes under Westin Reservations.
Okay, that's helpful. Then I can search for them. Thank you.
And I can also resend the confirmation email from the annual meeting registration if you need that. The one that comes from me. I have access to all of those.
Okay. I mostly want to check on the hotel to make sure I get the right rate. So
yeah. Yes, for sure.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Patty.
It also comes through as a text. If you put in your cell phone number, you get a text confirmation that you just kind of hold on to. So
The hotel, you mean, right?
Yeah, that's an option when you're reserving your room to get text message updates, and they will send it directly to you via text.
Jacoba has something to add.
Yeah, Jen, in the confirmation email, I did not see the payment, how much we paid, and my treasurer kind of wants to see that.
Yep.
So it didn't
So
say how much.
in the confirmation email, there should be a thing that says this email serves as proof of payment, and then you check the box for how much you paid. And then you can send that along with your credit card statement to your treasurer, and it should match.
Good.
Yep. Awesome. All right, so there's an update about parking. Lisa put it in the chat. Do you also want to verbalize that, Lisa?
Yeah, I did check. If you're not staying overnight, parking in the parking lots on either side of the Westin is free. The parking garage is $15 per day, or you can have your car valet parked for $30 per day.
Awesome. Thank you. We're answering questions on the spot. I love it. That's what this is all about. And for those watching later, then they just get all the questions answered at once. Fantastic. So we currently have room for 6 workshops, and all of those are filled. Our mission area teams and staff members are the ones who are holding that space for dedicated learning for participants at annual meeting. The choices for those workshops are learning about the Michigan Mitten Project with me, talking about finance, church finance, and the Michigan Conference Foundation with Andrew Warner, moderator and lay leader training with Lawrence, faith formation, older adult ministries with the Faith Formation Mission Area team. And then we'll be having a learning and discussion opportunity about a unified association committee on ministry that will be led by Cheryl. So those are the current options. I'm sorry. And then an anti-racism workshop as well. And those will be, those are the 6 different choices. And again, we'll give you more details about which ones will be offered when as we figure that out. One of the things, as Bill was mentioning, that you get in your confirmation email is a link to a folder that has that will have all of the documents for delegates and participants at annual meeting. So once you register in your confirmation email, there's a link that I just put in the chat to a Google Drive folder, and I'm actually going to share my screen too so you can see what it looks like. And that will be recorded for later as well. So already included in the folder are the draft schedule. There's the 24 financial report, and both of the resolutions that will be coming before the body on Saturday during the business meeting. Before we do an overview of the schedule hour by hour, I'm actually going to kind of skip ahead on our list and let Sue share a little bit about the resolution process and the 2 resolutions that will be coming before the body at annual meeting.
When you took that off, share, it moved the screen and I couldn't find my button. We have 2 resolutions. They are a resolution to affirm the critical importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the church and culture, and a resolution to renew the open and affirming covenant of the Michigan Conference of the United Church of Christ. The DEI one is becoming particularly important, especially if you have any connection to school systems in Michigan as they are trying to define what DEI means so that they don't lose funding. That's the kind of thing we're facing. And it's a pretty self-explanatory resolution. It includes definitions of DEI. So worth your reading. The other resolution does reaffirm the already existing status of Michigan Conference as open and affirming. It happened very early. It happened in the 80s. And at that time, covenants were not being written to explain what was meant by becoming open and affirming. And so this resolution offers a covenant that talks about what the Michigan Conference means by being open and affirming. And again, if you read the resolution, it's pretty self-explanatory. We opted not to do an educational session online as it was getting difficult to coordinate. And the truth of the matter is that the resolution hearings are scheduled so that you can attend both hearings and you can ask your questions then. The only thing that's different about the resolution hearings is the only ones who may at the hearing amend and vote on the resolution are persons who have been assigned to that particular resolution. So you can still get your questions answered and you can still find out a lot more by attending the hearings when you get to annual meeting. And once you register, you've got access to the resolutions yourself. You can read them. You can ask the people who wrote them any questions you want to. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Please come and vote and participate. Although I'm guessing most of you that are here at this session have already registered or are planning to register.
To add on just a little bit slightly to what Sue just said about register and come and vote, a reminder that voting for the 2025 annual meeting will be in person. There will not be an opportunity to vote online or give voice online for this annual meeting. Similar to last year, one of the priorities of the planning team, both last year and this year, is the fellowship and the relationship piece of annual meeting. And so the commitment to having an event that is in person has been really critical for both those years. We will be doing our very best, Karen Metcalf, our communications associate, and myself, to live stream on YouTube for people that are not attending in person to be able to watch and view what is happening live. That will also then provide us with a recording of everything to live on our YouTube channel. But in regards to voting, that will only be happening in person. And I see your hand. Question, Margarita.
I register for the workshops.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your full question. Can you repeat it, please?
We have to register for the workshops.
Nope.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There are the choices when you register to give us an idea of the popularity of which ones people want to go to. But when you get there, there'll be a list of 3 that are happening at the 1 o'clock spot and 3 additional ones that are happening at the next workshop block. And you will go to whichever workshop that you want to. Doesn't matter what you put on your registration form. Excellent. The schedule, let me put the link for that in the chat as well so that everyone can pull that up if they would like to. Again, it is living in that Google Drive folder with all of the documents that anyone who is participating will need. Let me share my screen and we'll go through the schedule so that you have a good idea about what to expect when you get there. I'm also going to make this just a little bit bigger for all of our eyeballs. So on Thursday, for folks who are early arrivals, we will have a game night slash trivia slash snacks and fellowship. We had some requests from especially our folks who were delegates at General Synod for the opportunity to do some karaoke. So we're going to see if we can make that happen, and should just be a really fun evening. At our annual meeting last year, it happened to be the Halloween costume party, and it was just a really fun night for gathering and relationship building and fellowship. So we are continuing with that that event as a way for people who would like to come the night before everything starts, and be together, and eat and drink and be merry. On Friday morning, the early morning, and actually all of the morning is optional for either visiting with folks who have already arrived or traveling into the city of Detroit to explore some of the sites and or the historical museum on your own. Lunch is on your own, and then we have the 2 blocks for workshops starting at 1 o'clock. So 1 to 2:15 and 2:30 to 3:45. Those are the 6 unique workshops listed there on the draft schedule. From 4 to 4:45 is association gathering times. UNA, Grand West, and Lisa, is there anybody else for sure that will be having association meetings?
Galen just confirmed in his
Okay.
email to us today that
Okay.
DMA will be meeting.
Perfect. So all 3 of our meeting spaces are confirmed and filled with association gathering time. So that is fantastic. So those 3 associations will have 45 minutes in their designated spaces to meet and gather. At 5 o'clock will be the budget hearing for those delegates who are required to attend, assigned to attend the budget hearing. At 6 o'clock is when our evening panel will take place. That will be kind of besides the budget hearing, that will be the first like whole entire gathering for everyone who is participating. Lillian will be doing some story sharing, and our synod delegates will be talking about their experience with the wider church. So that should be a really fun conversational panel type, about an hour long, and then we will move straight into dinner. As Lisa mentioned, buffet style. And then following dinner until 9:30, we will continue with that fellowship time, cash bar, and have some games out for participants as well. On Saturday morning, breakfast is bright and early from 7:15 until 8 o'clock. As Sue mentioned, the hearings are spaced so that you can attend all the hearings. You can attend the budget hearing on Friday afternoon, and then both resolution hearings in the morning on Saturday. Following the hearings, we will worship. Our conference minister, Reverend Dr. Lillian Daniel, will be leading us in worship and preaching with musicians, Abby George and Lisa Young. And then our keynote will be from 10:45 until 11:30. With Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony, with time for question and answer following. After the keynote and question and answer, we'll have lunch, then speak outs, then the business meeting. We will have a short break, and one of the things that we did this year was extend the day by about an hour on Saturday to include a vitality presentation about church vitality with our Associate Conference Minister, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Richardson, so in lieu of a separate Vitality Day event in the fall. So we're combining and putting all of that together. The vitality presentation with Lawrence will be followed by question and answer. After that, we will announce our 2026 location plans with a benediction and adjournment. Any questions about the schedule? grow my church. I love it. Lawrence, do you want to say a little bit about your keynote?
Absolutely. Yes, I don't want to spoil it because I want you all to be engaged and excited. But I'm really excited. I love church vitality. I love the church life cycle, all the way from new church starts all the way to legacy churches and then those churches in between. This is certainly going to capture some familiar language if you're familiar with the church life cycle, but I'm also going to be introducing some concepts about futuring and legacy. So the presentation is called Help Grow My Church. And that is one of the main questions or things that are said to me when I visit your churches across the conference. And so we're just going to have a presentation, but it's also going to be a conversation, an opportunity for me to reflect back some of what I see in the larger conference, some stats impacting the larger United Church of Christ, and some practical things that we can do here as people of faith, as the landscape of church certainly is changing, but our mandate to preach and teach and live the gospel remains the same.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lawrence. Again, with the keynote from Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony and the Vitality presentation from Reverend Dr. Lawrence Richardson, it is going to be an exceptional opportunity for learning and growing and fellowship at this year's annual meeting. We talked a little bit about pricing. We already mentioned that I'm just looking at my list. Childcare would be available for those who need it on Friday and Saturday. And then I just want to make sure to reiterate that in addition to the regular registration rate, there is an opportunity for at least one church to have all of their annual meeting registrations reimbursed. August 30th was the deadline for scholarship application, but with the Michigan Mitten Project, if your church has the highest participation rate in that worship engagement survey that we are currently running, everyone from your church who participates in annual meeting will receive a reimbursement for the amount that you paid for registration. So please make sure you share the link that I just put in the chat, share the QR code, have everyone in your church take that worship engagement survey, and hopefully you and your church will receive reimbursement for your cost of participation in annual meeting. So we've been doing a lot of question and answer as we went along, as questions came up, but we do want to make sure that we have some space and some time for additional questions if anyone has them. I think I've covered everything on the list for annual planning team members. Is there anything we left out? I see some heads shaking.
Galen, go ahead.
Just a traffic warning. As far as I know, as you may, those of you who travel down close to where the Westin is, it's about 1.5 miles from 696. Eastbound 696 is closed all the way from Telegraph to I-75. Westbound is fine. But if you have that, you certainly should plot your route so that you avoid using eastbound 696 because it's very closed. So that's all. Just thought I'd mention. I'm not aware of any other major traffic issues, but especially if you're coming from out of town, that could end up being part of your plan. So.
Thank you. Super helpful.
Jen, can you say anything about the Friday morning Detroit opportunity and how are people getting there and just a little more details about that?
Yep. So at this point, it is we're going to take whoever has said that they're interested in it and put them in a group and let them as adults figure out if they want to carpool or go on their own. I have linked in the agenda both the Historical Museum, which is where we went with youth last winter for our winter retreat. And I also included our scavenger hunt list of different places to go in Detroit. There's some pretty excellent public transportation if you can get yourself to the Q line or the People Mover and see some of those sites. And we're encouraging, hopefully, with the beginning of October, the weather will still be relatively nice, and encouraging people to just go check out Detroit. So with some of those helpful hints of things to look at and view. So
it's worth mentioning maybe that right across the street from the Detroit Historical Museum is the Detroit Institute of Art, which is a very large and excellent art museum. So that you wouldn't very much walking distance.
There's so much to see in Detroit, and we're really just hoping that people, yes, Lawrence just put in the chat, again, a couple blocks from there is the Charles H. Wright African American History Museum. Hopefully, if you're making the trek that close to the city in the morning on Friday, people will find something to go and engage with that will help them see the beauty of the city.
Yeah, it's just past the DIA. Just go walk past the DIA to the Wright Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Jen. One quick question. We can do the survey for the Mitten project directly from the today's newsletter. We can click that. Okay, good. It's an easier link for it. And as many people, as many member in a church can do the survey.
Yes, please.
Okay.
We want, the ultimate goal would be 100% participation of every member in every church, and that is extremely high. But that's the goal. Like everyone, every kid, every youth, every person who sits in your pews at any point, visitors included. Yeah, go ahead, Patty.
So I have people here that are not computer friendly or engaging. So I actually had Sarah download it as a paper form, and we just passed it out at coffee time with a pen and said, here, answer these questions, and we will have our admin plug it all in later. So it's still ambiguous. Nobody knows, anonymous, not ambiguous, anonymous. And it's working out well, so.
Amazing. I love it. Fantastic.
Yeah, great suggestion. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Awesome. Any other quick questions? We're at our 12:45 mark. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Thanks, Lauren. I'm going to reread the end of the prayer for leaders, and then I am going to play our promo video in case you haven't had a chance to watch that yet with our planning team members and our conference minister, to play you out as the benediction. So, may we, at our annual meeting, know the wisdom of deep listening, the healing of wholesome words, the encouragement of the appreciative gaze, the decorum of held dignity, and the springtime edge of the bleak question. May we have a mind that loves frontiers so that we can evoke the bright fields that lie beyond the view of the regular eye. May we have good friends to mirror our blind spots, and may our annual meeting be for us a true adventure of growth. Amen.
Look, we know that we can't compete with fun activities like these people are having trying to get out of the kayak. That's why we have our annual meeting in October in a hotel. in the city. Because the sun, the good weather, it'll all be done by then, and you'll be desperate for something to do.
Hi, dear friends and colleagues. I'm excited to personally invite you to the 2025 Michigan Conference UCC annual meeting. We'll gather over 2 full days, Friday, October 3rd and Saturday, October 4th, at the Westin Southfield Detroit in Southfield, Michigan. As always, we're grateful for your continued covenant and our shared ministry. It'll be wonderful to learn, to worship together as we work towards being a justice-seeking conference.
Appreciate the open invitation to visitors from your local churches to join us on site or watch us online. Clergy and delegates, please make plans to attend as votes will be taken in person. We are working to make sure that all collective parts of the meeting can be viewed on YouTube.
Annual meeting is the annual event for all of us to come together and learn. We will kick off our time with collective body on Friday evening with a State of the Church conversation panel with Conference Minister Lillian Daniel and special guests. Opening session will be followed by dinner and a time for fellowship and cash bar. The Saturday meeting agenda includes our resolution hearings, worship with our conference minister, a keynote address and question and answer with Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony, UCC pastor at Fellowship Chapel in Detroit and president of the NAACP Detroit. Also including the conference business meeting with votes on resolutions, nominated board members, financial reports, and of course the 2026 budget. We will finish out our day with a vitality presentation in lieu of a separate vitality day from Reverend Dr. Lawrence Richardson, our Associate Conference Minister for Church Vitality and Transitions.
On Friday morning, there will be optional activities to explore downtown Detroit, and then participants can attend 2 workshops of their choice. A variety of opportunities will be available, and choices are listed on the registration form. There will be association meetings at 4 p.m., and the budget hearing will be at 5 p.m. on Friday. Educational sessions for 2 resolutions will be held online in September. Stay tuned for more details.
Dinner on Friday, as well as breakfast and lunch on Saturday, are included in the price of the event registration. These 3 meals will be served buffet style and will feature choices that accommodate a variety of dietary needs. You can choose to register for Friday only for $85, Saturday only for $95, or for the full event, including Friday and Saturday, for an early bird rate of $150 by August 10th. Financial assistance is available for individuals and churches. Please contact me before August 30th to make arrangements.
Discounted lodging for rooms at the Westin is available through September 5th. Childcare is also available for no additional cost with pre-registration for children age 0 through 12. Children will be supervised by paid adult and youth childcare providers. There is no childcare for intergenerational activities on Thursday evening or Saturday during worship.
Last year, the evening fellowship activities were so well received that we would love to invite those of you who are interested in early arrival for a game night, complete with appetizers, cash bar, and optional karaoke on Thursday, October 2nd from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
We specifically chose our annual meeting date to be October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, which will conflict with absolutely 0 beautiful things in nature.
So you're wondering where to register now that you've heard about our annual meeting. You can check out all of the social media, the conference monthly newsletter, and the conference website for more registration information. Please know that right now registration is $150 per person, but it's going to go up to $175 per person August 11th. So you want to make sure you get in on that early bird registration. And online registration will close September 15th. We really appreciate your prompt registration because it helps in planning the event. It helps us in scheduling workshops and preparing for your arrival at the Westin Southfield in Detroit. So thank you for taking time to watch this video invitation. We can't wait to see you in Detroit for the 2025 Michigan Conference Annual Meeting, Friday, October 3rd and Saturday, October 4th.
In the summer, I want to ride around in this convertible with the sun going through my hair. Unfortunately, I don't own this convertible, but you get the point. By October, I'm looking for things to do. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, it's your car? Okay, I'll just be a minute. I'm making a video for the church.